Hi, welcome back to my channel, Cloud Soldier. My name is Cash. In this video or in this recording, what we'll discuss about content delivery network. Uh, it is very important topic for exams and also in real life when you work in a digital company or a new startup. So lots of companies they want to have their presence of websites or web apps across the world. I can give you a quick scenario. Just for example, let me get my annotate pen. Right. So, for example, the users are in North Europe. Say, for example, just pretend North Europe is like Canada, not Canada. So that's not in Europe. My apologies. Just say France, and these users are in East US in America, USA somewhere. So these are the users. This is your web app, or you can say application, which user normally access via internet. Right. Or I can give you an example of, say, this app is, say, just pretend it is Netflix, like you watch your movies and series and whatever. So the people in North Europe trying to access this Netflix, and this web app is in their data center in North Europe. So they will have a very low latency. Latency means like very less time to access this app. So like no lags, no waiting, very quickly, very fast, no buffering. But what do you think? The people in US trying to access this Netflix, which is based in Europe, obviously it will take time, and they have a longer response. They will a longer response, and they will not be happy. Why there's a buffering or lag. To resolve this issue, like it says here, user across the world get the same experience when accessing the application. So to do that, users in North Europe and users in East US. So we will implement a service, Azure service called CDN, Content Delivery Network. So what this will do, it will create a point of presence of location for North Europe and for East US. So what will happen? So when the users access this, say Netflix, so when it comes, the response, it will be cached into the CDN network. So when next time users go to Netflix, instead of getting from here, they already have a point of presence. So it will, like it's like a cookie, and they will access this website very fast. If I explain to you some, so let me clear this drawing, and you can see that. So just an example, CDN is a service that helps distribute network content across the world to improve performance, reduce latency, and enhance the user experience. Same. So why we use, to obviously improve response time. So you can read that. So you can see that it is in North Europe, but East US have a different experience. So it's a global accessibility. Azure CDN ensure the users worldwide receive faster response time. Yeah. So how the CDN works? Like I said before in the diagram, it's point of presence, location it will create. So Azure CDN uses point of presence location distributed globally to cache That's the most important word, to cache content. Not me. My name is start with K, so this will CSCHE, cache. I'm trying to make a joke, not to worry. To create cache content and serve it closer to the user. So caching response. When a user in remote locations such as East US requests a web page for the first time, the CDN fetches the content from the web app hosted in North Europe and it caches it at its nearest point of presence location. Yeah. So this way, the request for the same content is served directly from the cached copy. Seamless experience. You will not even notice any lag or anything. So benefits as I said, reduced latency, scalability, cost efficiency. So what I will do in the next step, we'll learn how to create Azure CDN resource, understand how to integrate an Azure web app with Azure CDN, and we see a demonstration how the performance increases. Yes, so I'll speak to you in a second. Hi, welcome back. This is Cash again from my YouTube channel at Cloud Soldier. I hope you guys are enjoying my AZ-900 series, and I'm trying to make uh, these labs and these topics very easy for you to understand. So what I'm doing now, as you can see, so I've got a documentation in my GitHub explaining to all the topics, how to understand how this works and make it very easy for you. And also I'm creating step by step to create these labs, so whenever you get stuck you can do side by side and create these labs and learn accordingly. Please give me any suggestions to make it more so I can improvise this and make it very easy for you. So like we discussed before, what is CDN used for? So in this one we'll create a lab. So let's go to we follow the steps. So we got portal open, click all resources, and click all resources and search for uh, click all resources over here, all services, sorry. Click on create and say um, but before we do that we need to create a web app from my last exercise when we did a traffic manager. I could have left a one app to use for this purpose, but I deleted the whole resource group. So what we'll do, we just quickly create a web app again. So if we go to create a resource and web app, create new resource group, call it CDN RG, click OK, and we use our call it CDN web app. Okay, and just call it 1 2, just make it unique, and I uncheck that one. .8 net.8, we use a framework. For Windows region is loading, we use UK South. UK South. UK South, and click next. We do not need database at this stage. Networking on, yes. We don't need application sites. As you know, application sites for monitoring, we just doing a demo, so there is no requirement at this stage. Review and create, and create. So it is validating, so let's come back when it's done. Right, so it is created. Just the resource is created. To verify, what do we do? To verify, what do we do? We just click this URL, close that, open this, and enter. Yes, your web app is up and running. Now what do we do? So let's create a um, our CDN profile. So if we go to create a resource and just search for type CDN and select CDN profiles. So we choose this one, select front door and CDN profile. Front door means also that you're trying to access like Netflix. If you are in say Europe, like you are like we are in UK, and Netflix is hosted in East US, so it's like kind of like a front door for to access this from anywhere in the world. Just like your main house front door, anybody can come in. Okay, let's create that. So we use continue to create a front door. Okay, and let's continue. All right, so we use this one. We click select our CDN RG, and see this is grayed out, so you can't change it. The reason is that CDN profile is a global service, so anybody can access that. It will create, like I said, uh, presence of point of presence in that CDN profile. Okay, under creates explore or select standard from a click continue. Select resource group, provide unified in CDN. So we call it name. We call it just call it we call it my CDN profile, and we choose standard is already there. Configure endpoints. Okay. Excuse me. Right. Okay. Add an endpoint. Just ignore this step. This is if we get the error, then we have to register that. So add an endpoint to CDN point on the CDN point created. So right. So if we call it any endpoint. Say my endpoint host name, endpoint host name. Yeah, right. So we choose app service. So we got app service here. Yep, and it should give us the one we just created. Remember this web app we created, we select that one, and that's fine. Just leave it like that. Review, create, and create again. Let's review and create. Variation pass, let's create. Okay. So when this is done, let's come back. Right, while this is recording, sorry, this is creating this resource. So what I'll do, if you remember from my last lesson, when we created a traffic manager profile, we had to add a default page. So we will create that page again and try to access that page from the CDN profile URL. So if I go to my web app again, just search for web app we just created. So go to app service. This is the one we created. And if we go to our development and app service editor, open editor, select my account again. Right, so it takes about a minute or something to get this page. So what we'll do, quickly right click in new file, and we call it default.html, enter. And we call it, if we go back to my code of my old, sorry, not this one, it is this one. So go resources, and that was the lab we created earlier was traffic manager implementation, and we copy that code. Right, so this is the code. If you just copy that and paste it here, so instead of this we just call it for CDN lab. Okay, saved. So if I go back to my CDN app and go to overview and click copy that, and like we had this before, or we can refresh this. See, this is a primary web application for CDN lab, but notice this, we are accessing this our primary app, but we are not accessing this from our point of presence which we created in our profile. So if I go back to my profile, which was CDN front door and CDN profile, so if we go to my CDN profile which was created, remember it was created, so so if we click overview, right, so like I mentioned before, just cancel that. I showed you that we were accessing from this URL. So if I go back to here, you can see, not this one, sorry. So if you go to our primary web app, show you again, I think it's not going to work because it's been cached, that's why. Yeah, so if I go to my Cognito and just type here, which one is this one? Right, so I was actually clicking the wrong app. So this is our app, just showing you again to prove my point why we're using CDN. So this is the app we created. So if I click that, you can see that, yeah. So just close this. Now we go back to our CDN profile. So this is not app, this is the CDN profile we created, and the endpoint is this one. So users will come to this endpoint and it created a point of presence. So for example, if we are accessing from US, it will go to this URL and we will be able to access our required web. So if I click copy that and paste it here, here we go, you see it's perfectly fine. So this is a primary web application for CDN lab. As you can see that this is the endpoint from the CDN. I hope this is informative for you guys, and if you have any question, please comment in my YouTube. So what I'll do, I'll copy all these links of these labs and everything in description, and it will make very easier for you guys to replicate these labs. Goodbye for now. Thank you. Bye bye.